Namaste. Welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you. It is a great joy when we gather together. And every month, at the end of the month, and it's always a Wednesday. You know, Wednesdays are very sacred from now on. It's a forgotten day. So we're going to have these satsangs on the web, live, once a month, the last Wednesday of every month, in English, for those of you who like to listen to English. And I want to say welcome also to a little Russian group today. Hello, привет. Very happy that you're also joining in with a translator today, and I promise to speak a little slow, but that's not always what's happening. But I'm very happy to welcome you wherever you are on the planet. It is a great joy. Of course, we're going to try to get these recorded so you can see it afterwards too. But when we gather like this together at the same time, even though we are in different time zones and places on the planet right now, whoever's tuning in right now, it's kind of special because we are creating that which is called Satsang. Those of you who've been to satsangs in real life, I travel around giving these satsangs, and a satsang is a phenomenon in itself that happens that when we are together and sharing truths, something happens. A phenomenon of sort happens where it's being created through us who is here. So every month we will have some subjects. I just realized to slow down. It will last for a minute, then I forget. So we will have different subjects every month. And these are subjects that are just coming out of my heart that I want to share and go deeper into. And there's also a Facebook group created for these Web-Satsangs where you can interact and be part of. So if you feel like, wow, can't we bring up this, how about this question, or you want to share something, or let's be interactive and engage with each other. So that's why I created that Facebook group, and it's a closed group. So only members see what you write. Only people who are interested in this would even want to be in there. So this month, we're going to bring up higher dimensions. What is higher dimensions? And is there a channel, like a radio channel, that is playing silence? In other words, can you be free from that chatter of the mind? Is there such a thing to tune into? And how to go about it? We'll also end with guided meditative processes and energy transfers through sacred mantra chantings. So you'll be having all kinds of experiences, and you're also welcome to write in the Facebook group while the satsang here is going on, because I do have my tech person who will then text me that. Hopefully I will see that on the phone. All right. So, like I shared, a satsang, that means to share one's truth in company. That's what the literal meaning of satsang. It's not like a lecture. Like I don't have any knowledge or any information that's going to help you very much. All right, I'll just leave. What I mean is I will be speaking only from my experiences, and maybe this will give some insights. Maybe this will trigger some kind of experience for you. So, from my perception and my experiences of life, there is no ultimate truth. So I'm not here to advocate that, because you can read a lot of books about this with dimension. You can just look it up online and you'll get all kind of information. You can just pick one that fits you. What if everybody's right? Nobody's wrong. Everybody's right in their own way. So I will speak from my own experiences. It's the only thing that makes any sense. And my hope is that you can joining in this simpleness of what this means. Every Tuesday, we usually gather for the Divine Light meditation that's also given on this channel, same time, and also live, not recorded. And it is to honor the sacredness of that transfer of the sacred light. I call it light, and we're going to move a little deeper into that now. The light of awareness, of seeing. Like you walk into a dark room and you turn on the light and you'll see. That's the kind of light that we are talking about. This light, many people have shared that they have experienced, right? You go through the tunnel in the near-death experience. You go through a tunnel and then you go into the light. No matter what religious or spiritual understanding one has of this, it's a similar experience. So, like many of you, I have also had near-death experience twice. And it was an experience that still carries on today, that is giving the insights that I'm here to share. I also want to share some experiences that came before I went into the light. And I try to slow down now, because what I want to share with you, it's not food for the mind. Some people might even feel sleepy when they start listening to this, because the mind is not really able to grasp this. So I share it from my own experience. It becomes a story. I'm not here to say how it is, because the mind is trying to put it into that category. Before I entered into the light, which the experience I came back with is still with me, both times. And the fundamental experience that I brought back was that the light beings that came out of the light, you could call them angels. I could very well see how people call them angels, because they're beings of light that came out of this light to greet me. And what struck me was, that is another me, like the Mayan calendar. The Mayan Indians said, in Lakesh, it means I'm another you, when they greeted each other. So, that experience, and it was 23 years ago I had that experience. So obviously, what we see outside is also inside. As I shared with you, I've shared this story many times. Maybe some of you are hearing it the first time. As I came back into the body, I came from inside. This you have to be very clear about, because this is leading us up to what are other dimensions. And to have an insight and an experience of what I am to share, you need to somehow connect into that light of awareness inside of you, because this only makes sense if it happens to you, or if it can somehow wrap around your intellectual understanding of this could be. I don't know. To move into a higher dimension, we have to realize that there is no outside world that is different from our inside world. And these things are happening like a paradox at the same time. So I'll go back into the near-death experience. Coming back into the body, I was traveling through the universe. I saw actually star system I recognized. There was a silver cord from my belly down into the body that was down on earth, giving birth to my daughter. And the body had not managed the breathing thing, so it left a couple of times and gave this profound experience with it. Now, as I came back into the body, I came from the outside, from the furthest, strongest light and the outside of the universe back into the body. At the same time, coming from inside, the very inside of my beingness, into this big clumsy body. And the first thing I heard was my voice saying, I remember, I remember. And then I, after that, experienced the lips that felt really big. That was forming the words, I remember. And it felt like big tractors. All right, so we come to the understanding that the inside and the outside world is intimately and directly connected. Not only that, before this light, there's also a sound. In the beginning was the word, some of the holy scriptures are saying, and the sacred mantras that we're going to do later now, on this hour, also is based on that technique or sacredness of the sacred sounds. So, before meeting the light and experiencing fully, if it wasn't enough with one time, I was kicked back out there twice. Same experience both times. Before then, I had a meeting with a sphere of sound. This was many years back, maybe 30 years back or so. I don't know. And the pivotal point to remember when you have such experience, because many people say, I want to have that experience. But if you want to have it because you're interested, it most likely will not happen. There are certain qualities we'll go into, and we're going to take them into the process later, that is igniting these kind of experiences for ourselves. Both of these times, and actually a third time, also came later in 2002, as I heard the voice of divine, I would call it. If there is such a thing as the voice of God, then this would be it. That's the third time. So this power could manifest in different ways, and there in all three times there was a definite quality that ignited these experiences. And these are what I want to bring here to this satsang today, that you can become aware of in yourself. We often say in the oneness awakening process, don't be afraid to meet your inner suffering, right? You've heard me say that before. been traveling the world talking about this for 15 years now. And it was actually what that inner voice, the voice of God, if I can name it like that, it was a strong intelligence filled with light, a love that I've never experienced before. And it said those words. Once again, it came from outside the whole universe and from inside the very core of my being, saying these words that I since then followed, and I share it with everyone who wants to listen. Don't be afraid to meet your inner suffering. Now, why on earth would we do that? Why would we want to do that? 99.9% of the people on the planet says, forget it, I'm not interested. I'll escape any which way I can take. Where is the exit? So, what triggered off these very strong experiences was a no way out. I had painted myself into a corner. You know, when there is no way out, there's no escape routes. You have come to a position where you surrender, not lovingly in a kind of a nice spiritual kind of wonderful way, but in my case it was very dramatic, of giving up because there are no escape routes. The first time, let me just see so I'm not sitting here talking forever. No, it's okay. It might bring up some insights for you. That's why I'm told to share these stories. The first time that this happened was at a time in my life where I was fully convinced that this thing with a spiritual reality is a non-existing. It is like these Hollywood movies, because I worked in the Hollywood business then, and realizing everything is fake. Nobody is for real. It is all surface and fake. It's great movies. It's fun. It's enjoyment. And I started realizing what I've been seeking must be like these Hollywood movies. They are fake. And I came to a very clear decision, since I've been seeking this all my life, since as far back as I can remember, as a 3-year-old, insisting to go to Sunday school to learn about Jesus and the angels, even though none in my family were spiritual in that sense. I was not raised to religion. Most Swedes are not really. But I had that kind of incarnation where I just need to know about God and angels and Jesus, and I need to know why you have to believe in it. Shouldn't you have to know about it? So I'm just pulled to find the answers. Since as far back as I can remember, I had no choice really. So at this time, when this sphere of sound appeared in my life, it was at the time where I had come to a decision that my life is like an empty Hollywood movie. There's no substance of the seeking. It's all surface and fake. I might as well just give it up. I'll just give myself into whatever life is offering me, but the seeking has got to stop. I took a very clear decision, and I felt very rational for the first time in my life. It's like pretty dry, but hey, everybody else was right. I was wrong. There is no such thing as God. I'll just throw all away the books. And with that, I fell asleep on the couch. It was in the afternoon. And I had a dream, but I thought I was awake. Sometimes that can happen. Some of you have had astral traveling. Well, It was that kind of a thing where I got up, but I was actually still sleeping. But I thought I got up, and I went to the bathroom because I had to go. So I opened the bathroom, and there was this sphere of sound. It's the closest thing I have to try to describe this. And it was what I knew as I opened the door and I saw this. It was like thunder and lightning and presence of the divine with such power. And I knew with every cell in my being that this is what I've been looking for. And this is what I had just proclaimed. It does not exist, and I'm closing the chapter. Realizing and opening the door, met by this sound ball, I fell to my knees in front of it. I believe, I believe, I believe, I called out with such strength to try to be heard by this sound that I woke myself up from the sleep in the couch. Then I sat up, realized, okay, I'll continue being a seeker. My seeking continued. It was such a powerful experience that nothing could get me away from seeking this. Now, many years later, I'm back in Sweden, in Helsingborg. I make fun of this city sometimes. I used to say that I could live anywhere in the world except Helsingborg. All you can do is go from Helsingborg to Helsingör. So you go from one hell to another. It's an old joke that I have now changed as of late, because I just found out from my dear friend, who is a very great scholar in the Mayan calendars, that it is the goddess Hel, the goddess whole. In Swedish it's called Hel, when you are whole. That is where the cities are named after. They're not named after any hell. So I'm very, very happy to live in this goddess of wholeness city, where you go to Denmark and you see another goddess of whole there. So very, very blessed to be living here. And this scholar of the Mayan calendar, he actually tried to find a house here. Wouldn't it be great to live in the island between these two goddesses? Was his plan. All right. So we are honoring the city that we live in now. That is where this experience of the voice came. This is the experience where the near-death experience came when my daughter was born. It is these fundamental changes that we can get by preparing ourselves. Seeking has a great value, which some spiritual wise men and women call faith. To have faith is something I never understood before. So why you have to believe? Shouldn't that be something you know? I come from academic background, like most people here. We are very valuing the rational, scientific mind. Then discovering that there is a value in having faith. Once you have touched upon that presence of light, something changes inside of you. You're never the same again, ever. The same happens when it comes to experience that silence of the mind. And is there such a channel? A year after hearing the voice of divine, I was given an experience of declutchment of the mind. It was New Year's between 2002 2003. It was in a lecture. Somebody was speaking about this at a retreat, 7-day retreat, and I didn't understand anything that he was saying. And I went for the shortcut, because at that time I had become very familiar with the Antriyaman, which we're going to do some processes with very soon. The Antriyaman is our higher sacred self. We each have a connection to this light or sound or presence that can take many forms for each and every one of us. It is a one, but it's not the same. So I had developed this bond with it. And as I didn't follow along what the teacher was very brilliant, but I just didn't get what he was saying. I said, what? So I talked to my personal divine, my Antaryaman. Antaryaman is a Sanskrit word that means the indweller. So the one in here. So I said, can't you just give this to me, because I don't understand what that is. That's all I said. And my divine responded, oh, such a simple thing. That's what our dialogue was. So oftentimes we just have to be real, like authentic with speaking to our divine. So this experience was given in the middle of lecture. It went on to everybody had a break, everybody went, and my experience was the word declutchment, as I understand and see it, is like when you are having a clutch in the car. When you are changing gear, you put down the clutch and then you change gear. Friläge in Swedish, for those of you. So you just like that. That's how it felt like. Like the mind, the thoughts. You're aware that there are some thoughts. All of a sudden, since I asked this presence in here, can't you just give that to me? And he responded, such an easy thing to do. And this thing happened. So you have to understand, I did nothing, just asked. And I was in a situation again where I just felt kind of stupid, that I didn't understand what this brilliant teacher said. So I was in some kind of drama, thinking that everybody else is following along. I don't get it. Can you help me? Yes. So I was in a helpless stage. And this declutchment happened. It is a physical thing, and I want to point that out. Just like the near-death experience, hearing the sound of God, the voice of God, seeing and experiencing the sound, there's definitely involvement with our physical body and our senses. It is important. It's not possible for all of this to happen, for us to experience higher dimensions with the mind or the intellect. The intellect is very useful to have clarity. But the actual experience is given through a power that is beyond the mind's capacity to reach. If the intellect can grasp that, then we are on our way. And to land into just being who you are. That will sooner or later get you into being helpless. Because how can we be what we want to be? We need help. And we are constantly in contact with help around us. That which we call higher dimensions. If we can understand it with the fact that the outside world and the inside world is connected, then of course we understand that the higher dimensions that we sometimes experience when we astral travel is one such higher dimension, but there are many more, much higher dimensions than that. Of course, they are tuned into our beingness of who we are. Our physical body, we as humans, are made in the likeness of divine, of God, as many scriptures are talking about. So while we are in a physical body, we can benefit greatly from exploring this. And as we take care of the body, as we learn to have light inside our brains and heart, in other words, increasing the awareness of what is going on, we can actually start coming into an alignment with the higher dimensions of who we are. Just like traveling through that tunnel into the light, leaving the body, and having these light beings come out, knowing with every inch of me that this is another part of me coming out, a more intelligent part of me, I might add, speaking to me telepathically. These light beings have also visited many times in both dream states and even physically showing up, actually scaring some people. What is in the inside is also on the outside. And we as a human species are intimately connected to each other. So we each have some kind of a purpose that we are here for. And that we know when we find joy in what we're doing. Whatever you're doing, like time seems to disappear. I'm just consumed with something. Then you're on the right track. Everyone's seeking happiness. Everyone's seeking to be free of this mind. Everyone's seeking, is there higher dimensions? Can I tap into those? Yes, absolutely. And there are some qualities that we just need to look upon for that to happen. And I thought we we're going to do some processes with it here today, if we have time. Just checking, yeah, there's time. There's always time. One of the higher dimensions we call the fifth dimension is actually transitioning the time and space. And just us being here together right now, we are actually, even in this third dimension, moving outside of that, isn't it? We are meeting online, but we are certainly not in this room, but we are connecting right now. So even now, time and space is not as valid as it were just before we connected. So the dimension reality of the 5D, the fifth dimension, which I met some light beings who actually introduced themselves many years ago, maybe actually 32 years ago. They introduced themselves as coming from the fifth dimension. And I knew with every inch of my being that this is another part of me. This was when my son seems to be pregnancy thing is happening around me. There's a lot of transition and energy. But I was expecting, I was pregnant with my son then. And so I couldn't take any painkillers because there was some pain after this incident where I was visited with my light family. And you have to understand that this was a very physical experience. This is something that changes you. It's one thing to say you have a dream about these things, and that's cool. But when you actually meet these kind of experiences and you realize that there's something I have been missing before, when you start realizing that the outside world is built on some kind of illusion that we are separate from each other. Here is a definite experience of my light family. They're very tall, light beings with long fingers and hands, and very absolutely certain it's my family. They were making a lot of fun with me, saying, "Sorry, you got the short end of the stick." It's not so fun being a human all the time, but this is the experience that was needed here, so I could later speak about it, perhaps. Who knows? At least I enjoy it. So it could be something right with it. So these beings of light, as they introduced telepathically, we are from the fifth dimension. I realized I am also, and you are also, and everybody else is also having a fifth dimensional version of ourselves. We also have a 3D version, isn't it? Here it is. And we have higher dimensions. Now, why is that important? It's not important at all. It is actually of no importance. And I told these light beings that too. I said, thank you very much, but I am here on the planet. Just let me live life here. Don't give me any gifts. I don't want to see the future. I don't want to read any minds. I don't want anything. Just if I got the short end of the stick, then just let me live here on the planet. Well, they thought that was hilarious. And I remember their laughter would not stop. At the time, I didn't think it was funny at all. I said, no, I'm a very rational human being. Anyway, there is such a thing as the fifth dimension. And as I learned trying to push them away, I always know when they're around because of the intensity of humor. So it's not like, ooh, there's some aliens from the fifth dimension. It's not like that. That's like the wrong perception. We are each having these multi-dimensional experiences all the time. It's just that we are tuned in, like a radio station. We are tuned into this 3D, which this planet is anchored into. And this planet is also having a sphere around it. We can call it the sphere of the mind. So we are like mobile phones. We're picking up thoughts. And these can be experienced like radio station. So you pick up some thoughts, I pick up some thoughts. And it has to do with the wiring of our brain, the way the neurons have experienced certain chemicals and emotions we've had. So we have created our picture of reality from this perception. So we pick up like antennas, we pick up certain kind of thoughts. And the brain then creates a picture of reality from this. So this is what I'm hoping to do some processes with, to start seeing that this is happening, because there's no way that you can change that, but you can start seeing it. It's highly intelligent to start seeing it. That's what we call the light. And that's what the divine light meditation is all about, seeing that, awakening that light within, the awareness, because each and every one has that. There's not one that has it more. The hierarchy of that is over. You have your own leadership inside, and that is the light. That is what you should seek, because the outside is just some reflection of something. You cannot understand this. It needs to be experienced. You need to tap into who? And hopefully that is my wish, that just sharing from my own stories, maybe some of it you recognize in your own life, and you can put some value into your own life story. That is the one thing where the journey begins. You start having compassion for your own journey. So the only process that would be of value then, no matter what your life story is to connect into that light within you in your own personal way, isn't it? So that you can have the kind of experiences that is natural for you to have. And believe me, you will not get confirmation from the whole world out there that what your experiences are valid or right or wrong. You have your own truth. It's the only thing that will make you come out of this jail called the mind. By not fighting with it, but by use that power of the divine. Like when you start transitioning outside time and space, when that fourth dimension with time and space moves and you come into the fifth dimension. Since this segment is called that, I have to take you back into that. Fifth dimension is a point. If you can see the fourth dimension as time and space, it seems to be like a timeline and distance, right? But in fact, and I think most people start realizing that now, you gotta be kidding. That's not the whole thing. You start experiencing that you're just here all the time. You didn't go anywhere. Where did you go? I mean, you can get on board an airplane and you're still there, right? You're just there. But the body somehow is moving through space, and you get off the airplane and you're someplace else. But where have you gone? You're just here, isn't it? So being here and now is what we call the fifth dimension. It's actually a point of love. To move into the fifth dimension, you have to move into the portal of that love. I think we should do some processes now, and connecting into that personal power of your divine will help you in declutchment of the mind. There is such a channel, and once you have tuned into it, the channel of silence, it's highly addicting. You love being there. Once the body has experienced it, the body knows it. It feels good with it. It's not just some fantasy, it's a reality. Then you'll go deeper and deeper. It might be like a volume, like on the radio, like, oh, sometimes more, sometimes less. Eventually it's there at your will, as you want to move into it, and you start accessing higher mind. It's another satsang. Let's go into process now. Right. So I'll be guiding you some meditations. You can close your eyes and just relax in the body. Be fully aware of this body. It's a sacred vehicle that you have, from the feet all the way up to the top of your head. Just relax. Be in awareness of the whole body and relax. Allow your breathing to move in and out by itself. You don't have to change your breathing. Just allow the body to breathe the way it wants to breathe. This, what you're doing right now, is called a vipassana, a very simple meditation, where you are aware of your body and the breathing. If you do this every day, you would increase the power of your awareness, that inner light of seeing. You will become aware of what's happening in you when you close the eyes and still the body, allowing whatever is happening. Now you can put a focus inside your heart. In the heart region, we can most easily connect to that power of presence, the presence of light within you. There's a part of our brain that is connected to the heart, signals being sent there. So what is going on in your heart is very important and valuable. You can put a focus in there and ask to connect to your personal connection to that light, the presence. If you already are connected to it, then ask that this will be deepened now and receive this energy transfer of the sacred mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shannu Mitra Shamvaruna Shannu Bhavatvariyama Shanna Indru Brahaspati Shannu Vishnu Rurukrama Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmahasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmaha Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmam Avatu Tatvaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. And stay with your eyes closed, connecting to that sacred presence inside. And see if there is any resistance inside of you, if you have any challenge in your life right now. When we follow this simple teaching of not resisting the challenge, but to confront it, to meet it, like a tiger coming towards you, what can you do? There's no use of running or running. You have to just face this. If you were to have that kind of a courage right now, and you can take just a small thing, you don't have to take a big thing, but something that is a challenge in your life. And if you were to just accept this challenge, you have painted yourself into a corner. There's no way out. There's no escape route. Somewhere, when you're at this place, you have the faith of your divine, the light within you. You call upon that presence at the same time as you are in this helpless state. then a transmutation, an alchemy of consciousness starts happening. So take something that is not too much right now. You can take something that you see that there's no way out, you cannot do anything. And we call upon the presence of the divine and receive this energy transfer. Shiva Nama Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Nama Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Alak alak boom, alak boom, alak Shiva Shambho. Alak boom, alak boom, alak Shiva Shambho. Kailash ki Raja Shiva bole, bom 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 Bholenath. Kailash ki Raja Shiva bole, bom 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 Bholenath. Shiva Nama Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Nama Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Alak boom, alak boom, alak Shiva Shambho. Alak boom, alak boom, alak Shiva Shambho. Kailash ki Raja Shiva bole, bom 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 Bholenath. Kailash ki Raja Shiva bole, bom 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 Bholenath. Bom 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 Bholenath. Bom 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 Bholenath. And stay with your eyes closed. Give gratitude for whatever you are experiencing right now. Giving gratitude is like giving fertilizer on that seed. Every energy transfer, every diksha through the mantra is given like a seed, and it stays with you, just like you plant a seed in the soil, in the ground. It flowers in its own time. As you give it gratitude, you are giving nurturing to that seed. You can stay with your eyes closed and see inside your heart. Is there something that you wish for? Something that will give you great joy and also would bring joy to others. Is there such a thing? Feel within your heart, what do you long for? And see it as it's already happened right now. During this next energy transfer, this next diksha, you can just see it as it's happening right now. See your inner light, the divine inside your heart, starts manifesting for you as you experiencing as it's your reality right now. It could be anything that you're asking for. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Stay with your eyes closed, and the last blessing we do for today is a blessing for all your near and dear ones. If there's someone that you feel could use a blessing from your heart, just see them inside your heart right now. You have the capacity to bless from your heart, from the presence of light in your heart, to wish goodness and happiness. This will strengthen the bond between that person's Antriyaman's inner divine light and themselves, just like it will strengthen your bond, as it will give you a Satkarma, a service, a help to this world. You can see as many people as you wish during this blessing in your heart, and they will be reached by this. They will receive an extra energy from your heart. You see them inside your heart receiving a light coming from the crown of their head, spreading through their whole body. And if your heart is big enough, you might even see your whole city inside your heart, being blessed from the presence of light within your heart. So wherever you go in the city, you always feel blessed because you have blessed everyone there. Maybe even your heart is so big that your whole country can fit into your heart. In that case, wherever you go in your country, you will feel blessed and protected because you have blessed everyone in your country. Maybe even your heart is so big that the whole world fits there, the whole planet. Wouldn't it be lovely for the whole planet to receive that blessing from your heart right now? So wherever you go in this world, and in all the worlds and the different dimensions connected to this planet, you feel safe traveling both physically on this planet and in other dimensions as that is given to you. Ask a blessing for this world and the people and beings on this planet, and receive this blessing. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vijadra vinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vijadra vinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vijadra vinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om. And thank the presence of light inside your heart, your personal connection to that one, your personal divine, your Antaryaman, your sacred higher self, however you relate to it, whatever you call it. Let it be real for you. And see yourself spending a few moments every day in connection to this sacred presence. It is the door opening to higher dimensions. Like the portal of 1111, it is seen like two legs opening up. The divine male, the divine females inside your heart. Like the god and goddess that lives inside of you, connected to your right and left brain, that is carrying a portal. And that portal will open up to the higher dimensions. But the entrance ticket has the price of unconditional love. That is the fifth dimension. So if you're traveling in time and space right now, if you find yourself in your consciousness that that's all there is for you, know that there is a portal inside of you. There is a divine sacred marriage that happens in your pineal gland as these chakras meet in the third eye, as a divine marriage of the god and goddess within. As that marriage happens between inside of you, it opens up the crown chakra, which is the oneness. There is no division, there is no separation, there is no duality. That reality is within you in a very real way for you. Allow for that to happen. And the key is in your heart. Ask, and it shall be given to you. The quality is, don't be afraid to meet your inner suffering. Be authentic. Be with what is there. Don't be afraid to be eaten by a tiger. It goes pretty fast. Allow for it to happen. And enter into the portal of your sacred divine. As you are completing the gratitude, you feel complete in that, you open the eyes in your own time. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I love being with you like this. You are the ones making all this happening. We're speaking from the one. We're together. We're engaging and connecting. I really want to welcome you on Tuesday evenings at the same time as this, whatever time that is where you're at right now. In Sweden, it's 8 o'clock, but I travel in the weekends and meet many of you. And but on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm always here in Helsingborg, in Helsingborg, where I send on live stream. And I look forward to see many of you on my coming trips, going to United States soon. Very happy. Yay. It's been a long time since I've been there, so I'm very happy to see some of you there soon. Also going to one of my favorite countries, Switzerland, before US. And with that, I have to also say hello again to my Russian friends who are on this call right now. I am so sorry. I forgot to slow down. I travel to Russia a lot. I've been there maybe 15 times. And I have a translator, and then I have to slow down. You speak translation, speak translation. I have no words in Russia to give to anybody. Just the heart. And wherever I go in the world, that's where we meet. Whatever country, whatever language, it's the heart connecting. And the heart speaks certain languages. Maybe this will be the subject for next satsang, because I really thought I was going to bring this up today, but I see that we're out of time. But there is a language of the heart, a language of higher dimensions, language of our higher sacred self that I would love to share. But we promised to keep this satsangs for an hour, so we'll not go into that now. But later, it's so much fun. Love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Namaste.